What's up, everybody? It's 8 o'clock and you already know what time it is. It is time for my show, The Mecca James Show. Well, I give you fashion, politics, and everything in between. But today, people, as you know, yesterday I was trying to go on Instagram Live. It didn't happen that way, so I had to do a video. I promoted it on Instagram. I promoted it on TikTok. I promoted it on everything. This video is about Will Smith, Jada Pinkett, Chris Rock, the Oscars on Sunday. I apologize to anybody that couldn't get on the live, but you can follow me on Instagram, Mecca James, and you can follow me on Twitter, Mecca from Uptown, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Mecca James Show. We need that support. Now, I've been doing radio for a very long time, been doing my real estate thing, so I'm trying to balance everything out. However, I think I'm getting into it. I'm getting into the groove of balancing things out now. So now I want to come back and give you more visual. Now, if you know me, you know I'm very opinionated, outspoken, but very respectful. So I'm going to give you my opinion on this whole Oscar debacle. Sunday, I got my notes here. I'm going in. Sunday was the Oscars. Not really fond of the Oscars. Really don't watch it. Just not my thing. I think it's kind of boring. Honestly, it's not my thing. I think it's boring. Never really watched it. I do like the fashion, Sometimes I look at that on Instagram or, whatever the feed is. And I was like, nah, not really feeling it. I don't even know the movies. All I know is Will Smith for Serena Williams and Venus Williams playing their father. He was up, but I doubt if he was going to win. That's in my mind. I was like, I'm not really feeling this. So, cousin calls me or I call her. She talks about the Oscars. Still said that I wasn't feeling it. I said, let me just check it out. Because if everybody's watching it, let me just see. I really wasn't interested. Didn't see it. So I'm strolling down on my phone and I see Chris Rock get smacked by Will Smith. I'm like, nah, this is for ratings. Nah. These are two, mind you people, these are two A-list celebrities. Chris Rock, legend in his own right as a comedian. Will Smith, legend in his own right from acting, The Fresh Prince, Ali, so forth and so forth. So I'm like, let me see for myself, because this can't be true. Now, before I get into that, I'm going to break everything down. I'm going to talk about Will Smith, Jada Pinkett, how monumental this Oscars would have been, but it was overshadowed. We're going to come in some things, because I got a lot to talk about this. And, people were going at me on social media, but I'm going to tell you my opinion. So, this Oscars, as you know, before it was very, no people of color was on the Oscars prior 2 years. So I remember like in 2016, they were hashtag the Oscars is so white, because they just totally dismiss any actors, actresses of any color, the African American, Indian, Spanish, whatever you want to call it, they were just dismissing them. So not even acknowledge any of the movies, anything like that. That's why I was disinterested, because if you're not going to represent everybody, why would I want to watch it? So this year, we had Wanda Sykes, Regina Hall, Chris Rock, Beyonce performed, Megan Thee Stallion performed. Now, all of this is being overshadowed, but let's just talk about Megan Thee Stallion, Questlove from The Roots, him and on the Jimmy Fallon show, he won awards for great award that he won. They've been putting in work since early 90s. If you know anything about hip hop, you should know The Roots. Philly represent. So it was a lot of monumental things that was in this. Then you have Will Packer. So I'm not sure if you are familiar with Will Packer, but I'm gonna tell you about Will Packer. Will Packer, young black man, he directed Think Like a Man 1 and 2. So this is his first time, the first time in 94 years, they have a man of color directing this Oscar award. So you have black director, black host, black man supposed to be winning. This is supposed to be of color. You know what I mean? They are making their wrongs right because of this Oscars. Now, fast forward, I see the slap, and I'm thinking to myself, no, this can't be real. This can't be real. I'm like, nah, this for ratings. You know, they said, oh, Will Smith smacked Chris Rock because he said something about Jada Pinkett having alopecia. I said, no, it has to be more. Chris Rock, you know, if you know anything about Chris Rock, he's a straight shooter. He's a comedian. He's a current event comedian. Him, Dave Chappelle, I would say Paul Mooney, if you know of Paul Mooney, they shoot from the hip. Anything that's happening right then and there, they're talking about it. They're those kind of comedians. So I'm like, this can't be the reason why Will Smith went off on Chris Rock. I mean, he just said a G.I. Jane joke. Now, if you know the movie G.I. Jane, Demi Moore, she had the short haircut. You know, Jada Pinkett has alopecia. If you know anything about alopecia, that is a condition. You won't die from the condition. You do lose your hair. And maybe that, you know, she felt some type of way about that. Understandable. But for him to go on stage and then sit back down, and Will Smith was like, keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth. So I said, okay, this is still staged. But he said it again. Anybody know anything from the streets? If somebody say, keep your name out of your mouth, they about their business. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, I think something's wrong. I really think something's wrong. Then I see Denzel Washington go and console Will Smith, like, I guess he was saying in the is he okay? Then I see Tyler Perry. That's when I say, oh snap, this is real. This is the real deal. Like, what is going on? This is some hood Source Award ghetto stuff, and this is crazy. So everybody, you know, Will Smith sits back down. He gets an award. He starts crying. Now he feels some type of compassion. Some type of compassion, because I'm noticing, because let me tell you people, communication is more about, is 90% nonverbal. So I'm looking at body language. I'm looking at what he said, the tone, what he didn't say. What he didn't say is he did not, I repeat, he did not apologize to Chris Rock on that stage. Now, I'm going to go through the mind of Chris Rock after what he's doing, but I'm just going to stay on Will for now. Then we're going to talk about Jada and entanglement, and then we're going to go from there. So let me tell you people, he apologized to the Academy and everything else, but not to the person he smacked. So my thing was this. I don't think it was warranted. Most people that have any common sense to say, what I thought Will should did, if he was angry, or maybe they were friends, maybe he could have cursed him out on the side. He could have yelled at him. Maybe he could have tweeted about it. But to actually get on national syndicated TV, where this is a stellar performance, I mean, not performance, this is a stellar show. Everybody in the world talks about the Oscars, and you actually slapped Chris Rock. Now, people are saying it was staged because Chris Rock did have his hands behind his back and he pushed forward. But let me just say, as a host, maybe he thought Chris Rock was going to give him, maybe Chris Rock think Will Smith was going to give him a hug. Maybe he thought, you know, like, maybe put his hand on his shoulder, something. He didn't really think he was going to smack him. And I think Chris Rock was really in shock, because afterwards, you saw the look on his face like, yo, did this really happen? And sometimes that can happen, people. You can have an incident that you're so in the daze that when you look at it, you're like, did this really happen? And I saw that on his face. I was like, either they're really acting or this is real. And when all of that came to fruition, I was like, no, this is real. Now, the part I didn't like is when Will Smith did that. He said sorry to everybody but Chris Rock. And then I saw pictures of them partying, things of that nature. And I was like, nah, I'm not feeling this. F Will, I really don't care. You know, he's putting a sour taste in my mouth. Now, people, you know, when you have an outburst like that, it's really not about that moment. I always notice it's really not about that particular moment. Something else came to part. Now, this is when I tell you about Jada Pinkett. Jada Pinkett Smith is Will Smith's wife. They got 2 kids, Jaden and Willow Smith, and then he has another son by his first wife as well. I believe, Now, everyone knows, if you don't know, if you're under a rock, Jada Pinkett had an affair. She had an affair with B-list, I want to say B-list, C-list R&B singer. He's not in the category with Chris Brown or Trey Songz or Neo or any of those. August Alsina, I can't even name 5 August Alsina songs. But if you can, you know, you might be a fan. You know, I'm not knocking the brother. I'm just saying the level of R&B level he's on. She has an affair with him. And to come back, everyone says, like, how did August Alsina get in this Will Smith, Jada Pinkett, Oprah Winfrey circle? He was friends with, August Alsina was friends with Jaden and Willow. They were friends. So Jada Pinkett slept with one of her children's friends. Now, mind you, they're like in their 20s, but still, Jada almost 50, so damn near half your age. All right. So at the time, from my understanding, August Alsina was going through a lot of things at home, I guess with his family, whatever. He saw Jada as like an older, wise person. And you know, like she said on her show, there was some healing that needed to be done. Now, anybody knows about the Red Talk, Table Talk, her show that was coming on, I think, Facebook Live, if I'm not mistaken. She has a table, you know, they open up about a lot of things. Now, here's what the problem I have. This show, if you wanted to protect your family, you should have talked to Jada about the show and how not to give so many details about your personal relationship. Jada goes on there and she has August Alsina on the show. You know, at this time when August is on the show, we didn't know that they were a couple or they were sleeping together or whatever. August Alsina goes on Angela Yee's show from the Breakfast Club, and he talks about Will gave him permission to sleep with his wife. Now, we looking like what? Because remember, back in the day, Will and Jada, you know, you see them smiling. They were the perfect power black couple, but you never really heard much about them. Now what I'm saying is this, that because of this show that Jada has with her mother and her daughter, they open up a lot. So my thing is that when you have a relationship, whether it's your partner, your significant other, husband, whatever, and you tell that much details, and I'm going to go in details on how much she said. Jada said, it wasn't an affair, it was an entanglement. Now at this time, we never knew what an entanglement was, but that's her way of saying it was an affair. She never really said that she was sorry for the affair. It was something that happened, and her body language, her tone, it is what it is. It happened. Me and Will, we're past it. Now Will is on the show smiling, and I'm like, how could you be so comfortable? Maybe they have an open relationship. Maybe they discussed this a long, long time ago. I don't know. But my thing is this. As a man, I don't know. I think that Will should have came to Jada and said, you know what, Jada, you're telling a lot of our business. And that's only one thing that she told. Then she goes on a lot of shows talking about she was not sexually pleased with her husband, Will, at one point. Now, there was someone that we went back and forth on Instagram, and she was just saying that, you know, a lot of people have that in their relationships, in their marriage, where that could happen. I say yes, but those are things that you keep in-house. You keep private. When you open up those can of worms to tell that your husband is no longer sexually satisfying you, and he's a big-time celebrity, A-lister, and you're a celebrity as well, that opens up comedy, people talking about you, jokes, and that nature. You got to have tough skin. So I understand that she was trying to open up. I understand that people can relate, but at the same time, did you ever think of how your husband feels about this? Like, how does your husband feel? Even though he says it's okay, that's embarrassing to any. I didn't even know it was that deep in Will and Jada Smith. Now, there's another component of this. Red Talk, Table Talk. Jada talks a lot about her relationship, quote unquote, non-sexual relationship with Will Smith. Not Will Smith, Tupac Shakur. Now, as you know, Tupac Shakur, a rapper They grew up in Baltimore together. They was really cool. People thought they went together. She said there was no sexual interactions. She just loved him. Now, her daughter, Willow Smith, says sometimes she cries and prays to Tupac. And because she's just so sad, she said that Tupac left her. Tupac left her. The way she talks about Jada Pinkett talks about Will Smith, she loved him more than she loved, in my opinion. Jada loved Tupac way more than she loved Will. That's in my opinion. I'm going to repeat that. In my opinion, Jada loved Tupac way more than Will. And I'm not talking about in a friendship way. The way she talks about him. Now, if you're in a relationship, in a marriage, if you talk about another man and you're highly praising that man and you have a significant other, partner, husband, whatever, that is disrespectful to that other person. I don't know if she noticed. I don't know if they ever talked about it, but that is very disrespectful. That's like you being in a relationship and you're praising your ex while you're in another relationship. That is disrespectful. This is where I think Will should have put his feet down. Jada, I like the show. This is me as Will Smith talking to Jada. That's what I would. Jada, I like the show, but you're going to have to shut that down. You're talking too much about our relationship. You're going to have to shut it down. You have to talk. But I don't think he ever put his foot down because I feel like Jada is the more stronger person in the relationship and Will is a little bit more sensitive, if you understand what I'm talking about. I don't know. I don't live in their house. I'm just seeing what I see on TV, interviews, stuff of that nature. And what she say out her mouth, she said that she loved Tupac. Now you have a person that had an affair. Jada had an affair or an entanglement, whatever you want to call it, with a very younger man. She never really said that she was sorry for it. She said that she loves Tupac almost more than her husband. Now, this opened up a can of worms for comedians, not just comedians, people in Hollywood talk. We talk. We like, well, God, Jada, you love Tupac. You had an affair. She said out her own mouth. She said in the August Alsina entanglement, we have, there was some healing that needs to be done. Now, Jada, girl, you know damn well that was only sexual healing that you was giving to that boy. You was using him, and after you used him, you went on. That's why he went on and August Alsina told everything. So you have all of this build up from Will. After the entanglement, after her saying she loved Tupac, and I want to go an example. On the Breakfast Club, Will Smith was on the Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, which was a guest on the Mecca James show years ago, he said, were you ever jealous of Tupac? And if you go back, Will Smith said he was jealous of Tupac because Jada Pinkett says that Tupac Shakur was the epitome of what a man should be. Now, Will Smith got to deal with August Alsina entanglement, Tupac Shakur being a dead man that he has to still compete with. Can you imagine you are competing with a man that's dead, Tupac Shakur, then she has an affair, then she's talking about you, that you're not sexually pleasing her at one point. We don't need to know all of that. This is all ammunition for people to talk about your relationship. Excuse me, people. I had to go. I had to go. People to talk about your relationship. Come on, man. Jada, you doing way too much. Jada, you doing way too much. And Will not put his foot down. Just saying like, yo, you need to chill. You need to stop all that. Even if you did love Tupac, you don't got to go on this show and talk about him. This man is doing movies, A-list, everything. And you talking about, yeah, at one point, my husband wasn't satisfying me. Girl, Will Smith is an A-list actor, nice looking, and he got millions of dollars. You are really humiliating this man. Verbally. I think she verbally abuses him. Personally, that's my opinion. I can't speak for everybody else, but I really think Jada verbally abuses Will. Maybe she, they said that they would never get a divorce, but maybe they need to. Because neither one of them are happy. The kids is not happy. They as strange as they come, and that's my opinion. They are a strange bunch of kids. 2 kids. The oldest one, he's okay. But the 2, Will and Jada, they out there. They definitely out there. Now, you have all of this. Now, Chris Rock does the Oscars. Now, you know, Gayle King asked him about, have your wife ever had an affair? He says no. People has talked about this entanglement and Tupac for a very long time. So my thing is this, to make a long story short, is I think that Will was just so frustrated and he just took it out on Chris Rock, which didn't even do a joke about the entanglement. I know he had some jokes in 2016, but whatever he said was not warranted you getting on stage and slapping Chris Rock. Chris Rock is a whole legend, okay? Chris Rock is a whole legend in these streets. Been doing it for 30 plus years. So don't play with Chris like that. Now, I got my notes. I had to talk about this because this was just way too much. Everybody's joking. You know, I think Will personally just saves face. You know, he just yeses Jada and he loves her so much, but I really don't think she's not that in love with him. She's not that in love with him. She the way she smiles and the way she glows when she talks about Tupac, that's the one she should be with. But, you know, if you're not happy, girl, separate. Live your life. People get like Cameron said, people get divorced every day, D. People get divorced every day. And you can move on. Now, what I wanted to talk about is that so many people were talking about Will, how he feel, you know, Jada Pinkett, how she feel about her alopecia. Let's talk about Chris Rock. Chris Rock, the comedian. Chris Rock, the sellout tours. Chris Rock that does movies. Chris Rock that does stand-up, a whole legend. How do you think he felt being a professional black man hosting the Oscars? Now, we don't get to host that much. You know, if it was Mike Epps, it would have been another situation because, you know, Mike Epps is hood. He probably would have stabbed Will. If it was Dave Chappelle, he probably would have fought. You never know. When you hit somebody, you got to be prepared for the repercussions that's coming. Chris Rock, I think he was in shock, but it could have been somebody else, and it could have been a rumble in the jungle right on that stage. Do you understand that? A rumble in the jungle right on that stage. Now, you know, I talk with my hands because that's just how I am. I had to talk about this because it was just like, did you think about Will Smith's career? Did you think about Chris Rock's career, Will Smith? Did you think about how detrimental that is? That's going to be on TV forever and ever. I mean, people are saying that his ticket sales went up, but I just read a statement that Chris Rock is still in shock from this. He still can't believe that that just really happened. That's a level of disrespect of no other. That's almost like spitting on somebody. That's a disrespectful thing that he did. Did you think about his 2 daughters? Chris Rock has 2 daughters that have to go to school and hear kids talk about that. Do you think about his ex-wife or Tony Rock, which is his brother? Tony Rock is tight as hell. Tony Rock said, when it's on. Now, if you're from NY, if you're from New York, if you're from China, when it's on, that means you never know what's going to happen when those 2, Will Smith and Tony Rock, come to pass. Now, he was a professional, and, you know, he still hosts the show, but I really want to come down on the Academy because when Will Smith did that, it was if that was a B-list celebrity, a C-list celebrity, like Eric Benet said, if that was me, and a lot of people don't even know who Eric Benet is. He actually was married to Halle Berry back in the day, but he said, if I did that, if I slapped somebody, they would have had me in handcuffs and I would have been out. Not that they should have had Will Smith in handcuffs, but they should have definitely escorted him out. He should never got a standing ovation for his award, for his speech. The whole slap overshadowed Questlove show, Questlove award. Beyonce, Jay-Z was there. Like, come on. Like, what are you doing? You're going to do this? Now, you won the best male for the Oscars, and a lot of black men don't even win that. Denzel Washington was there. He gave Samuel Jackson an honorary award. That was overshadowed. We don't even know who was the best dressed, anything, because this was overshadowed by a slap. You can't control your feelings by words, and you literally went up and slapped this man. It was totally disgusting. And I'm like, I don't even know what to really say. I was just like, I'm disgusted. And Jada, she said, it's time for healing. Girl, you are the reason why Will did this. If you didn't open up about your relationship, and I know the joke had nothing to do with entanglement, but trust me, it wasn't about the joke. Will had a lot of build up from the entanglement, competing with a dead man, which is Tupac Shakur, all the jokes. He snapped. He snapped, and he's apparently snapped at the wrong time. It was not the place, and it was not the time. I would rather Will Smith cursed him out at an after party, talked about him crazy on Twitter, or references in an interview. That's how you do things. Now, they might even take his Oscar back. And it's deserving that it take his Oscar back, because nobody's talking about how Chris Rock felt, how his children feel, how degrading that looks. If that was real, come on, man. Come on. And we're all black people. Then, people, this is the Mecca James Show. I also want to talk about the director, Will Packer. Black man, produced Think Like a Man 1 and 2, did a couple more movies. This was the first time in history, a black man, an African-American person, directed the Oscars. Let me say this again. This is the first time ever an African-American man directed the Oscar in 94 years. Now, Will Packer did an excellent job bringing out Beyonce, Megan Thee Stallion, Questlove. Everybody was there. I mean, the host, Wanda Sykes, Regina Hall. It was supposed to be monumental. This is all color. Not all color, but, you know, a lot of color. And granted so. But now, his whole, everything he worked for is tainted by a slap. Now, my thing is this. If it was Jim Carrey on that stage and he would have said that G.I. Jane joke, do you think Will Smith would have smacked him? Do you think if Jimmy Fallon would have said that joke, do you think Will Smith would have smacked him? But you're going to smack another black man on live TV with so degrading? That's what I have a problem with. I blame this all on Jada. I think they need to get some help. You know, things is, you know, it's not always glitter. Where you see sunshine, it's not always glitter and gold. So, you know, this is the Mecca Jane Show. I had to talk about this because, you know, we got to do better. We can't have all of this violence and things like that. And now, no, usually, like I said, usually after the Oscars, we talk about best dressed, this, that, the Academy, the the Academy, the soundtracks, who had worst dress, who got, you know, what award was stolen, who was never even nominated, who was never mentioned. We don't talk about any of that. And I wanted to shout a big out to Jim Carrey. He said it was disgusting. A lot of people is on Chris' side. So I believe Chris Rock is going to come out on this. He's going to come out on top. I would never be friends with Will Smith again. And you know, just, you know, they need some type of repercussion for this. Stop telling all your business, Jada. And we'll probably wouldn't have to even go through this. Like I said, it's the Mecca James Show. And I'm going to put this on YouTube. I had a great time. Follow me on Instagram, Mecca from Uptown. I'm sorry. Follow me on Instagram, Mecca James. Follow me on Twitter, Mecca from Uptown. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Mecca James Show. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a blast. The Oscars, you know, maybe next year it might be so. It might not be of color no more, because look how we act. Look how we act. Come on now. Come on. It's the Mecca James Show, y'all. Peace. Love, live life, y'all. Bye.